But of the fruit of the tree, which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. Then the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die. For God knows in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. The devil has come to Eve. And I want you to note, he's come to her in a very specific way. And don't think he won't do the same to you. He has come not as an enemy, not as a villain. He's come to her as a friend. He doesn't come as an oppressor as he is. He comes as a liberator. I mean, he's come to set her free. She doesn't realize that she's in bondage. She is shackled. She could be so much more. He is sowing discontentment into her. And listen to me, this is what the enemy does so well. I mean, this was the rise of women's liberation movement. It's not enough that you're a housewife, that you serve your husband with godly fear, that you love and you rear your children. None of that doesn't matter. There's more. And so he comes on the scene and he starts sowing discontentment. And this is exactly what the enemy is doing to Eve. There's so much more for you. There's more wisdom. Unimaginable wisdom. In fact, Eve, you will become like God. When is it not a good thing to be like God? I mean, aren't we as believers supposed to be like God? Kedoshim tiyu ki kadosh ani Adonai lahechem. Be holy as I am holy. Yeshua says, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. You realize the sophistication, the deception that Eve is being presented with here? It is diabolical. This is not a war of flesh and blood. This is dynamic spiritual warfare at its core. He hasn't come with weapons of warfare that are carnal. He didn't come with knives and swords, spears to gut her, to kill her, which is what he was after doing, which is what he is doing. He comes to her with words, very persuasive words, powerful, cunning words of manipulation. The devil has come as an angel of light. He has taken the pulpit and he is preaching a mini sermon to Eve. This is what is really going on. Well, how does she respond to this? Moving on to verse 6. So when the woman saw, I want to stop right here. What just happened? So he tells her, he baits her, he removes the fear of God. You will surely not die. And then we come to the point, your eyes are going to be open. Come and look. Come and taste and see. You are missing out. The next thing we read is what? When the woman saw, the devil got her to turn to look at the tree as an option. And that is critical to this story. Yeshua says in Matthew 6:22, and we talked about this, the lamp of the body is the eye. If the eye is good, the whole body will be full of light. What is Yeshua teaching us about the eyes? It is the doorway to your heart. You remember what happened to David? He woke up. He just happened, I guess, to wake up in the middle of night. He goes out on his rooftop, and there just happened to be a naked woman bathing. What are the odds? Not very good. Not very good. Do you not think that the enemy went and woke David and led him out to the rooftop? And what got David in trouble? He gazed down upon, and he didn't look away. He looked, and when he turned his eyes, the lamp of the body is the eyes, he saw her. Guess what? From that night forward, his life turned into a living nightmare. He let that take root. Is it fascinating? He went and gazed upon that which God forbidden. She was forbidden, exactly. Just like what we see happen in the garden. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, it is forbidden. She should have never looked upon it. She should have never set her gaze on it. Moving on, going in verse 6. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food. So it's interesting. She turns to go look at the tree. Now, what does she see? She sees that it's good for food, that it's pleasant to the eyes. Oh, and it's desirable to make one wise. It's interesting. This word desirable in the Hebrew is hamad. Other places, what you find it translated is covet. Covet, as in thou shalt not covet. And so she looks at this tree to cast her gaze upon it, and everything about the tree looks to breed life, not death. It's this, like I told you before, when Enoch looked at the tree and he didn't see this bark that was infested with pus dripping out of it. The leaves weren't dripping maggots, and it didn't have this foul smell that induced vomiting. And when he looked at the tree of wisdom, this very tree that Eve saw, he saw exactly what Eve saw. Beautiful to behold, beyond compare, just unbelievable tree. Its fruit is beautiful. The tree draws you in. It's intoxicating. And this is how the devil gets us. He gets us this way because when we look at sins in our life, these things that take us away, the things that tempt us, we look at these things, we are drawn to them. We do not see death. If we knew that if we take this sin, we are going to die that very moment, that day, how many of you would immediately stop what you're doing? You would put the bottle down. You would put the drugs away. You would stop watching things you shouldn't be watching. It radically transform your life. And so this is the reality. Sin, the devil, he will keep putting things of the world and the things that everyone is doing, and as they're enjoying the passing pleasures of sin, he will tell you, see, you will surely not die. There's no payment for this. And then you cast your gaze upon whatever sin it is. And when you cast your gaze upon it, he says, take hold of you. And it will fill you. It will fill your heart full of darkness, and it will breed death.
Hey there, this is Mike at Corner Fringe Ministries. Thanks for watching our video. If you liked the video or it encouraged you, do us a favor. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the share. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. Now, if you want to watch the rest of this video, hit the button here. And if you want to watch the rest of this series, you can check it out here. And don't forget, you can download the Corner Fringe Ministries app today on any of your Play stores. Thanks for joining us at Corner Fringe Ministries.